The Associated Press News Station of the Year. The South Shore's weather station. Your home for high school sports. 95.9 WATD Marshfield. Streaming 24/7 at 959WATD.com.
Welcome to the Natural Health and Healing Show with one of New England's leading nutritionists, Mark Mincola. The show is brought to you by the Good Health Stores in Hanover and Quincy. Call Mark at 781-837-4900 with your health and nutrition questions. Now, here's Mark.
Good evening and welcome. I trust this winter's eve finds you comfortable and tucked in, warm and dry at home on this Sunday evening. And I'd like to introduce everybody out there in our radio audience to a very dear friend, somebody I've not seen in a while, and someone that goes way back here in my professional world. And it's great to be with Paul Frazier. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Great to have you on board. And you have an upcoming event, I understand. Is that right?
We do, yeah.
And that's going to be on January 12th and 13th, a 2-day workshop on Chinese energetic therapy training. And you'll learn the foundation of Chinese energetics, cultivating qi. It's going to be quite an interesting event. And this is actually part of something that you really want to unfold. Is that right?
Oh, for sure. In China years ago, it was commonplace for everybody to know how to take care of themselves. Everybody knew how to deal with simple diseases. Many people know how to deal with complex diseases, and as we've sort of moved into a culture where we're into specialization, one of the skills that we lost was how to care for ourselves.
No question about that. And as far as Qigong goes, that's something that is very, very important to the entire Chinese culture, and it's something that's becoming much more important to so many people in America these days who are interested in energy medicine and interested in cultivating energy for health purposes.
Definitely.
Why don't you talk a little bit about qi and about the idea of of energy medicine?
Sure. Well, Qigong is one of those really large topics where you could say, it's almost like saying the word food, right? I mean, you can say broccoli or you can say hot fudge sundae, and they probably, both are great.
And Qigong is a little closer to broccoli.
Much closer to broccoli, depending on how you use it, right? I mean, there were martial forms of Qigong, there are healing forms of Qigong. Primarily, we're more concerned with qi is a method to help yourself heal. It really is the foundation of Chinese medicine. Acupuncture, herbs, the massage, all of it came out of this foundation of Qigong. What happened originally was where you had these people living very close to nature, and if you lived, for example, near a running stream, you would feel yourself be calmer. You'd feel your breathing change. Mm-hmm. If you lived on a mountain, you felt your breathing deepen, and you felt yourself get stronger.
Right.
And your breathing would change accordingly. So what these people who lived close to the land started to do was to say, okay, if we change our breathing patterns, and then we change our postures, can we induce the feeling that we get when we're near these natural environments? And the answer was yes. So over time, systems started to be developed. They noticed if I change my posture, if I stand a particular way, if I relax my body a little bit more, this qi gets a little bit, or this sensation I should say, because I hadn't yet had a word for it, this sensation gets a little bit stronger, and I become stronger. As this life force energy started to build in the body, it started to travel up the spine and hit centers of the brain, primarily the vision cortex, and then these people had the ability to see energy and then see the points on a body. When I was in acupuncture school, one of the things that made me laugh the most was the class on the history of Chinese medicine, because somebody said, well, we're pretty sure that acupuncture comes from battle wounds. So I was trying to imagine this guy with an arrow sticking out of his shoulder saying, on the plus side, my asthma feels pretty good, It was through this, through these methods, and then of course you could see the points, you could see where the energy would go, and then acupuncture developed as a system.
That's great. Great story.
Yeah.
We're talking with Paul Fraser. Paul's a friend from way back, and Paul actually began studying Qigong with Master Tom Tam, good friend of both of ours, and that's where we first met.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that had to be a long time back.
Yeah,
about 15 years ago.
That's sad to know, isn't
and
it?
It is. Where did that 15 years go?
I know.
But without sounding like old sailors here,
I know.
I mean, one of the things that I think that we both have a great appreciation for is the great work that Tom has done over the years. And I think really it's a great testament to the concept of energy healing in a culture that is really still cutting its teeth.
Yeah.
And you learned it really directly
19
at age 19, and you faced actually a grave illness, and
that's right.
Qigong played a very vital role in your recovery.
I would say it saved my life. Yeah, I had a rare bone disease that had turned malignant, and when I through a series of strange coincidences, I came to meet Tom, and then became a pest, and he became a teacher, and I have a great affection for people who saved my life. So, since that time, I mean, we've been to China together. I still study with him. He's in a lot of ways a second father to me.
And your illness was something that besieged you at a very early age.
Sure. First at 13, then again at 19.
Okay,
yeah.
So you lived with the threat of cancer for what, 6 or 7 years?
Yeah.
And Qigong specifically is something that you credit with your recovery.
Definitely.
And you've been recovered and clean since that
for
time.
21 years.
Fantastic story.
Yeah.
And are there, for those folks out there listening that may not know, are there specific Qigong exercises for people with cancer, for example?
Yeah. There are thousands of Qigong exercises, and some of them are more general. So some of them maybe say, okay, we'll do this for your general health. Then there's, for example, a system called the Lin Family Walking Qigong, which is designed to break up tumors. The Pangu Shengong, which seems to transform any disease in your body. Tom's Tai Chi Dao Yin, based on Tai Chi movements, which really smooths out the flow of Qi in the body, removes obstruction and blockage in the body. And certainly there are breathing patterns that you can use to improve digestion, to calm stress, to strengthen you if you're weak, lower your blood pressure, sure.
So what will people learn, what can they look forward to learning regarding the Qigong that you're going to be showing folks on January 12th and 13th?
The first thing that we want to do is teach basic energy cultivation. Very simple, straightforward forms. The history of Qigong, the ability to change your breathing patterns, to change the state of your body, how to remove first of all, how to detect and then to remove energetic blockage in your body, and then how to bring that sensitivity into your hands and the rest of your body so that you can find imbalances in other people, and then a few basic techniques on how to resolve those blockages.
Fantastic. And once again, folks, that'll be January 12th and 13th. And that is, of course, going to be sponsored by the Healthy Living Institute. And you could learn the foundation of Chinese energetics, how to cultivate Qi, or life force, your body's internal energy, how to harmonize with Qi, with the universal energy, learn to correct imbalances within yourself and within others as well. And again, you can learn that with Paul Fraser. And if you want to register, and I suggest that you give it some serious thought, that workshop, you can log on to www.myhealthylivingmag.com, or of course you can call Candida at 781-834-2728. And Paul also, I should mention, has a very exceptional article that he's crafted in Candida's new magazine entitled Qigong, the Life Force Cultivation and Life Force Cultivation Practices, I should say. So this is a really superb article you might want to check out in the Healthy Living magazine. And tell us a little bit about your practice as well. I know there's a lot of changes that you've gone through with your practice.
True, yeah. Well, we have I started out just doing Qigong, applied Qigong therapy, and then Chinese therapeutic massage called Tui Na, and then over time that evolved. Went to acupuncture school, and now I practice. We have a pretty busy practice with my sister Cheryl and my best friend Richard and Suzanne, our massage therapist, who's probably just had her second child by now.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's an integrative practice. We sort of all bounce off of each other, and it's very much a family business. So we treat everything from lower back pain to cancer to whatever comes through the door.
And you've been making a lot of trips back and forth. You've been on the road of late. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I run a medical Qigong program at the Academy for 5-Element Acupuncture in Hallandale. Well, actually, they just moved to Gainesville, Florida. And that was a 2-year energy medicine program, so you didn't really have to have a background in it. We sort of trained you from day one. We had some people who were health professionals, and we had some people, actually the person who I was the most impressed with happened to be a librarian who had no background whatsoever in any of this. Yeah, and he was exceptional. We ran a clinical where we would have people just diagnose and treat using energy medicine, and he never missed a diagnosis.
Incredible.
Really something, yeah.
So when folks come to this particular workshop on the 12th and 13th of January, they will really, I think, probably learn a great deal about how to tune in to energy blockages. And when we think about energy blockages, you and I are thinking about really what the energetic root systems of disease patterns are all about.
Definitely.
So when people say, geez, why would I want to look where why would I want to tune into energy breakdowns like that? But you're really tapping into the root systems of where disease is really happening at the subtlest energetic levels.
Definitely.
So folks are going to be able to come away from this experience, and as you just point out, you never know. I mean, you may be gifted and not even know it. I mean, someone who is a librarian, as he just pointed out, was never wrong at using this system. Once you harness this system, folks, you just might find yourself quite tuned in to exactly where these disease patterns are. So is this going to be something that is physical? What about folks out there who are worried about maybe a lack of mobility, for example?
Sure. Well, the Qigong movements that we're going to use are very simple. If you can stand, you can do it.
Fantastic.
So it won't be strenuous at all. It's more about relaxing and less about any sort of strenuous activity.
So if folks are worried about being rigorously worked out here,
no,
that's not going to happen.
No, it's not a boot camp mentality at all. No.
And tell us a little bit about how Qigong correlates with, let's say, common maladies, colds, flus, immunity. I mean, this time of year, a lot of people are obviously fighting colds and flus and looking to get an edge and boot up their immunity. People occasionally will turn on the TV, and you've got the scare tactics regarding the media.
I love those.
Flu season is upon us, and all that sort of business.
As if it was the first time.
As if it was the first time ever, yes. So how might people enhance their immunity, for example, if they were to come to this workshop and sort of tune in?
Well, the first thing would be to learn how to cultivate the qi. Okay, the smoother the flow of qi, the stronger the flow of qi. So as it starts to flow unobstructedly, what it will do is it starts to, if you think of all the organs in your body, actually every cell in your body, as a battery. In truth, it's measurable. Every cell is a dipole.
Right.
So if every part of your body can store this electrical conductivity in your body, for lack of a better analogy, if you build that strength in the body and then you're exposed to, say, a virus, for example, what happens is your immune system is able to mobilize much more quickly. If every cell in your body, including the T cells in your body and your B cells, are more energized, they're more effective in fighting it. So you may get through the season symptom-free. You can be exposed, but your body will deal with it before you know you have it.
Right. And, for those folks out there that may be hearing this kind of conversation for the first time or one of the first times, how could you make it easier for somebody out there to conceptualize what this word is that we're using called qi?
Think of it as a current. Everything that is alive, every plant, every animal, every human being has this animating current that moves through the body. It's measurable electrically. There is a light current that moves through the body. I don't think that it's just electrical, but it does have electrical components. I think that its bandwidth is much bigger than that. But this current moves through the body. It is the reason that things work in your body. So you could have a fantastic body, right? A fantastic a good physique,
a good athletic body.
Absolutely. one that functions very well. And it would sort of be akin to having a great Ferrari with no gas in it.
Right.
If the car has no gas in it, it's going nowhere. If the body doesn't have chi, it's not animated.
So when a healthy person is struck down by a virus, a flu, and one day they're up and they're active and they're jogging 5 miles and having a great day at work and all that stuff, and then 2 days later they're flat on their back in bed.
Right.
They have no chi.
Yeah, or at least not enough.
Or deficient chi, I should say.
Yeah.
And when they're well and they're recovered from that virus, they've got their chi back again.
The body will regenerate itself.
And we could say the same thing perhaps about your condition, that when you were dealing with cancer as a young man, that your chi probably at that point in time was really very deficient and
severely deficient and severely obstructed.
And upon recovery, obviously, that chi was flowing again and highly charged yet again.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe that helps a few folks out there if you're struggling with that concept of chi. I think a simple term too, life force. I think something that you might want to think about as purely a matter of being charged up and feeling energized and energetic and feeling healthy and vibrant. Those are terms that we use all the time. People are sometimes confused too. People who do understand chi are a little bit confused about the difference between spirit, for example, and emotions and the mental energy and chi. And a lot of people that I certainly meet with are tuning in a lot more to the to coaching and that sort of thing, and they're getting themselves sort of mentally jacked up and mentally more, I guess I'd say mentally more positively programmed into manifest and that sort of thing. Yeah. How does chi come into play with positive mental manifest?
I think that let's call chi, or one's practices in gaining a lot of chi, it's quantity. How much charge do you have? And then I think that one's spiritual pursuits, one's virtue, one's positive attitude, an emotional state will give you the quality of the energy. So if you're living a more positive existence from a more positive mindset, your body is able to do more with less.
Fantastic description. All right, and a term also that I'd like you to kind of expound upon a little bit is the idea of medical qigong. What exactly is medical qigong?
Medical qigong would be a qigong that is specifically designed to maintain or correct health. As opposed to, say, let's say martial qigong, where early on you'll see something called Weidan, for example, where usually if you see the sort of cheesy kung fu theater movies that you see where everybody is flexing and breathing out with a lot of sound, what that does is it raises the voltage. You flex the muscle, you raise the voltage, you harmonize the breath, and then you bring your attention to a particular limb in the body, and then you charge that limb. What's happening under those circumstances is you're actually drawing out of the organs. So you're really shortening your life for martial purposes. So, okay, you strike a brick, the brick yields, right? It breaks. And you notice they usually only do that once.
Right.
You've dissipated the charge.
Right.
And of course, this was useful in ancient times, because if you were of the warrior class, you probably weren't going to live very long anyway. Whereas medical qigong is designed to what we call neigong, which is to bring that energy deep inside the organs, inside the nervous system, inside every cell, make it highly charged, and then have it flow out in abundance, first to all the limbs in the body, then around the body, and then to have the ability to use that abundance of energy to help other people.
So to go from the person who was perhaps ill and charge that person up and recover them, and then have them share in that experience.
Definitely.
Sort of like Paul Frazier.
yeah, sort of.
Fantastic. Well, tell us a little bit more about this particular program. I know that you're looking forward to this program on the 12th and 13th of January. And your vision for this is to go on to greater things and to expand this program, and hopefully to really bring people in and bring them greater awareness on an ongoing basis, yeah?
Sure. My hope isn't just that we all know how to take care of ourselves, but we also know how to take care of the people we love. I'm shocked at how little we know as a culture as to how to take care of ourselves. We assume that other authorities know better than we do, and that happens to be true right now. Some of those authorities don't always have our best interests at heart. And many do, and many just don't have the tools. But if you know how to take care of something when it's small and when it's simple, it never turns into something big. And if it is something big, let's say, God forbid, it's cancer or something like that in your family, my hope is to get as many people up to a skill level where they know how to deal with that, so that these things aren't as tragic anymore. It's a tall order. It's a pretty large ambition.
I'm sure, you know, when you go back to your experience with Qigong and Tom, you probably were absolutely, I'm guessing, you know, like so many people who are diagnosed with cancer, you probably were absolutely frightened, terrified is probably a better term, and I know that, you know, you built up a positive expectation with your Qigong, and it really sort of created more of a, I guess I'd say, an avenue of self-empowerment.
Yes.
Back to what you were saying a minute ago, I think the objective here is to take care of yourself no matter what the condition.
Definitely.
And most people, I think, as you point out, are looking to yield to authorities, especially the greater the odds. And I think that with something like what you dealt with bone cancer, that is something that as a young man, I'm sure you felt not only terrified but overwhelmed with.
Definitely.
And that when you got the message about Qigong and about what you learned from Tom, I'm sure that that was really uplifting for you.
Definitely. I mean, you know, of course, my 19-year-old self became pretty obnoxious about it too. You know, I started out as an evangelist.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those things where you can, you know, at 19 I learned a few things, and in 8 weeks I became an expert. Right? And now here I am 21 years later, knowing a lot less than I did at 19. But sure. And that feeling of knowing, okay, whatever it is, we have a strategy for it. There's something we can do about it. And I think one of the most devastating things that comes from an illness is a feeling of hopelessness. And as you know, in Chinese medicine, if you experience hopelessness, it directly affects the liver qi. If the liver qi stagnates, now we've got real problems, because the liver is responsible for that smooth governance of qi throughout the body. So a sense of hopefulness and optimism really go a long way to making us healthy.
No question about that. Well, great inspiration is your story, and it continues.
It does.
And I say that happily for all of us, because you've been a great influence for so many folks, and you're a great healer and a great inspiration. And once again, this remarkable program, folks, is January 12th and 13th. It's Chinese Energetic Therapy Training. It's a 2-day workshop, and you're going to learn the foundation of Chinese energetics, cultivating qi, diagnostics. It's going to be a remarkable program. You want to call Candide at 781-834-2728. You can also log on to her website at myhealthylivingmag.com. This is going to be held in Plymouth at Med Spa, New England. And once again, you'll have a great opportunity to work with a very special healer and a very dedicated man, Mr. Paul Frazier. And Paul, I think that this is going to be the beginning of probably a great offshoot with this particular program. I'd love to see more folks getting involved here in the South Shore and learning about the remarkable healing potentials of Qigong.
Definitely.
And I think that you're a great spokesperson for that very process. Your life story, your dedication is something that we can all become enriched by.
Oh, thank you.
And any final conversation that you'd like to share with folks out there regarding this program?
No, except to thank you for having me on. I missed you.
I missed you too.
We don't get a chance to hang out much anymore.
We don't.
But
I don't see Tom anymore very much. I every now and then I surprise him and I pop into his Monday evening classes. Right. But no, I know I miss seeing you and Rich and your sister Cheryl as well.
Yeah.
So my very best to everybody over there.
Thank you so much.
And one additional thing, you have. I understand you were recently engaged.
1 week and 3 days now. Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I understand that she is in the same world of profession as you.
She is, yeah. She is in the same field as I am, but probably has a bigger heart than I have. So, and to be with me, probably a lot more tolerance.
Well, it's hard to picture anybody with a bigger heart than Paul Frazier.
Thank you.
Paul, it was great to have you here. It was great to visit with you again, and I hope to see you again very soon. And once again, folks, January 12th and 13th, 2-day workshop. You're going to be with a very special healer, a very special teacher and master, Paul Frazier. 781-834-2728. Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. Take care.
Right in our area, we are fortunate to have one of the top martial arts schools in the country, Personal Best Karate. Personal Best has been recognized for their community involvement, professional staff development, character building programs, and exciting educational curriculum. Personal Best stands at the top of their industry. 5 locations offering personalized professional instruction. Not sure if karate is right for you? At no obligation, the staff at Personal Best will guide you in a private introductory program to see if karate is indeed the right fit to help you achieve your goals and meet your needs. What does karate at Personal Best teach you? Character building, success habits, helps you get in shape, relieves stress, self-control, setting goals, and of course, self-defense. Personal Best's goal is to create successful, contributing members of society through the practice of the martial arts at Personal Best. Mr. Chris Rappold is, of course, the founder of Personal Best Karate. He tells me his greatest joy of all is to see the personal transformation in each and every student. Bring out your best with Personal Best Karate. Telephone number 508-285-5425. That's 508-285-5425. Locations in Norton, Foxborough, Southeaston, Franklin, and Taunton. That's Personal Best Karate. This segment is being sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods. Good Health is a well-established organic specialty food market as well as a vitamin and sports nutrition shop. Good Health is a family-owned business passionately committed to giving back to the neighborhoods of Boston and the South Shore. The Maturos and the entire Good Health family continue to make an indelible impact on the communities they serve. There are currently 2 extraordinary stores, 1627 Hancock Street, Quincy, Mass., and 219 Columbia Road, Route 53 in Hanover, Mass. For everything natural, organic, and wheat or gluten-free, it's Good Health Natural Foods, open 7 days a week. In Quincy, 617-773-4925. In Hanover, 781-826-0808. That's Good Health Natural Foods. Alrighty, and of course it's time for Candida to join us regarding the latest and greatest from Good Health Natural Foods. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great show.
Oh, thanks. Well, because of Paul Fraser, it's a great show.
Right. And Mark Mancola.
What's going on down at Good Health?
Well, checking out the shelves, trying to keep people healthy. We have Chiodophilus 9. Did I say it right?
Chiodophilus it is, yeah.
Chiodophilus, which is a blend of 9 probiotics, which I know you're a big fan of.
Yep.
This one in particular, refrigeration is not necessary. So you could travel.
Freeze-dried. These are great, yeah.
It's great.
Take them on the road with you.
Take them on the road. So it's supplementing for the flora already in your body.
Right. You know, people, I think most people are starting to tune into the fact that there are good bacteria and bad bacteria. And the good stuff, of course, is real important to keep you well. You want to keep a good 4-to-1 ratio or better of good bacteria to not so good bacteria. And you're right, it is floral bacteria, no question. 98% of the bacteria in your body houses in the intestines, folks, and that's where everything kind of gets its start.
Right, and so this helps to calm your whole digestive system.
Yes, indeed. Yep.
Very good, especially when you're using antibiotics. This is a good way to kind of combat that.
Right, these are probiotics.
Probiotics. Next up is flaxseed oil, lignin.
Lignins.
Lignins. We have this word game back and forth each week. It's a lot of fun.
I feel like I'm on a game show.
You like it?
The best word is. Right.
Can you take it, Bryn Mawr?
It's for a healthy heart, healthy cholesterol levels, for joint mobility and bone density, energy and endurance. And it's on sale this week at Good Health for $11.99.
Very good.
Isn't that good? Actually, the Chiodophilus 9 is on sale for $20.49.
Wow.
Which is a really great price. Their prices are always very reasonable,
Of
aren't
course.
they? And next up, we have the Every Woman's new chapter.
Right.
The One a Day, which is on sale as well for $16.49. And it's a month supply. And it's also made with soy.
Very good. And that was Paul Schulich's product right there. He develops great stuff. Paul Schulich is a brilliant guy. He's really developed some fine products.
Oh, the new chapter?
New chapter, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I take that. I like it. It's
good
great.
stuff, good stuff.
So tell us where they're located.
Good Health Natural Foods. Oh, maybe 1637 Hancock Street in Quincy. Or perhaps you want to go down to 219 Columbia Road in Hanover. That's Route 53, of course. You can give them a call down there at 781-826-0808. Call them in Quincy, 617-773-4925 for all things natural. It is indeed Good Health Natural Foods.
Yep, and they want to remind folks that they are making individualized gift baskets for the holidays with all natural ingredient stuff, which is really nice.
We go from the turkeys to the gift baskets.
It's a nice alternative to the brownie gram.
Turkeys to gift baskets. So
they
get on
really
down
need
there.
any kind of, if you want to make a gift basket for men, they have that Burt's Bees stuff, which is really nice.
Right.
Shaving kits,
Right.
all natural bristles and brushes. You can tell I bought one, right? It's really nice.
That sounds like an old song from
hubby.
the 40s. Bristles and brushes.
I think you know what you're getting, Mark. Cat's out of the bag.
Bristles and brushes for Mark.
I like having Paul here, actually. This is fun.
So anything that we missed that you want to add to the January 12th, 13th, did we cover that reasonably?
We are very excited. This is the
Right.
first time Paul and I have done something together.
Yeah, it's true.
And the other thing is people are calling in there. I know Candida's getting some calls in on that. So they're probably, I'm guessing you can only get so many folks in there. And if people,
Yeah, the more the merrier. Keep calling.
but if people are thinking about it, you definitely want to make sure you don't hesitate to get in on this action here because you're getting that phone's ringing, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, we have lots of people interested. I don't know if folks know that, Paul, you also teach in California, isn't it?
In Florida, yeah.
In Florida.
In the Academy for Five Element
Elements,
Acupuncture,
yeah.
yeah.
And you wrote the whole curriculum there.
I did. Oh, well, for Qigong I did, yeah.
Qigong.
Yeah, I wrote, taught, hired, so far haven't fired the faculty. So we just finished a two-year training program where everybody did remarkably well. And so now we're talking about starting another one.
Right.
Yeah.
So this, hopefully, on the South Shore could be the start of that 2-year program.
That's my hope.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It would be really special, I think, to get the energy healing aspect out there and to get folks more aware of Chinese medicine in a practical sense. I think there's still an awful lot of people out there that, when they hear the term Chinese medicine, they can, they sort of worry, the concept of nutrition works for them, etc. But I think a lot of people still say, Chinese medicine, it sounds like something distant, something that I can't quite get my arms around.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think, in this time, in this day and age, when we have people like Paul, for example, to help people to really gain a greater warmth and an awareness of how they can apply simple measures here, these are really not going to be
Right.
complicated things for people to learn. And wow, what a tremendous effect they're going to have.
Definitely.
Especially, I think, for practitioners, they could take their whole practice to the next level.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they could then treat people with the Qigong.
Yes.
Right, and I think that's an important point too. This isn't just for for allied professionals.
Oh,
this
no.
is for virtually anybody
For
out
anyone,
there.
yeah.
And
We're going to assume that you're sort of coming in with a clean slate and leaving hopefully with quite a few skills.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from 10 to 3 on Saturday and 10 to 3 on Sunday.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, once again, I think this is long overdue, and I hope you guys get this thing to take right off, and I'm sure you will. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, guys. Tremendous.
All right.
So we'll see you later.
See you
Thank
soon.
you, and give those kids a squeeze.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, thank you
Take
so
care,
much.
Mark.
All
Good
right.
to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Bye.
Best wishes.
Make it together. The further from here, girl, the better. Where the air is fresh and clean. Candida, just take my hand and I'll lead you. I promise life will be sweeter. Says so in my dream.
All righty, that was tremendous. Very special for me to visit with Paul Frazier, a dear friend that I've not seen in a long time. A lot of great memories, and great to have him here. And I sincerely hope everybody gives some serious thought to that presentation. 781-834-2728, Chinese Energetic Therapy Training Workshop. Two-day program. And anyway, great stuff. And, when we do this program, of course, we like to kind of bring it on back to nutrition. And, on the most recent New England Cable News events that I've done, the segments that I've done, we've been talking a lot lately about some really interesting presentations and studies regarding cancer. And I did make some notes regarding some of that information in the NutraIngredientsUSA.com. Flavonoids linked to better breast cancer survival. This is dated the 22nd of November. An increased dietary intake of flavonoids may enhance breast cancer survival by over 30%, suggests a new epidemiological study from the U.S. A study of 1,200 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer found that individuals with the highest intake of flavones and isoflavones prior to diagnosis had a 37 and 48% lower risk of mortality. Lead author Brian Fink from the University of North Carolina states these results are based on postmenopausal women. The study is published in the journal Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention. For those of you who don't know, flavonoids are a class of antioxidants that are commonly found in tea, especially green tea, soy products, fruits and vegetables, and even red wines. And they are, of late, the focus of increasing research on oxidative stress and have been linked to a number of different studies with cancer, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease. But this is a remarkable controlled study. And once again, when you consider that the women who had the highest intake of fruits and vegetables in green tea and soy products that were flavone and isoflavone rich had as much as a 48% lower risk of mortality from breast cancer after being diagnosed. So, once again, the protective value of these flavonoids, we keep finding out more and more and more. And when we say food is your medicine, we truly do mean that. Food is indeed your medicine. And what I did, too, is I made some additional notes here regarding some of the studies that I've actually tracked down. These are from university studies that have been published, these notes that we're sharing with you this evening. But I made a note of 16 different areas of importance when you're employing natural medicine or food medicine to help fight cancer. First, anti-angiogenesis. Pro-5, modified citrus pectin, apple pectin, melatonin, squalene. These are different agents that are all natural agents that actually help shut down the blood supply to cancer. And again, the two most heavily researched in this area, one, interestingly enough, is melatonin. And we're accustomed to hearing about melatonin with regards to sleep. Obviously, a lot of people out there who have a hard time getting to sleep use melatonin for that purpose, but maybe more than what you bargained for in a positive manner anyway. Melatonin, in a number of different published university studies, has been found to be anti-angiogenic. Again, shutting down the blood supply, the food supply, if you will, to cancer cells. Also, something called squalene, Squalamine. Squalene. Squalene is actually an enzyme from sharks. And it's been isolated from the tissues of sharks, and there's been a great deal of research on it. I know a lot of people have, over the years, read a great deal about cancer notes regarding shark oil, shark liver oil. And there's no question about the fact that the key ingredient within the fatty lipid layers that is so powerful as an anti-angiogenic or an anti-cancer agent is something called squalene. And you're going to find more and more research on squalene in the not-too-distant future as well. Also, anti-tumorigenic, natural agents that have been studied in university studies and that have been validated and have been published as agents that have anti-tumor properties. And among the most powerful is the herb pawpaw, P-A-W-P-A-W, pawpaw, which is a very common herb that people have been using in teas and have been using medicinally for centuries. Also, turmeric root. We've talked a great deal about turmeric root. And there was recently a study on silymarin, S-I-L-Y-M-A-R-I-N. And once again, back to the idea of flavonones. Milk thistle, of course, is an herb that is very commonly utilized to detoxify and strengthen the liver and to support liver function. But within milk thistle, the herb milk thistle, there is an agent called psilocybin. And psilocybin is really a very powerful flavonone that has been found to neutralize and protect against liver cancer. This is a study that I actually have from the 15th of November. Milk thistle compound may protect against liver cancer. An in vitro study used human liver cancer cells exposed to different doses of psilocybin from milk thistle, found that milk thistle compound could inhibit the spread of cells and promote programmed cell death of the cancer cells. This was published in the World Journal of Gastroenterology. And keep in mind, liver cancer is the sixth most commonly caused cancer in the world, and the third most common cause of death from cancer. Okay, so once again, psilocybin or Silymarin, which you can actually purchase over the counter at the health food store, has been found to actually promote programmed cancer cell death, killing cancer cells, also inhibiting the spread of the cancer cells as well. So you may want to look into some of that research. Once again, this is published in the World Journal of Gastroenterology. Milk thistle compound may protect against liver cancer. And if you'd like to check out the short version of these studies, you can go to www.nutraingredients-usa.com. So once again, Silymarin, Silymarin, 200 milligrams twice a day is usually what I recommend. In addition, anti-tumorigenic substances, include, as I said, pawpaw, Silymarin, turmeric root. We also want to pay attention closely to a number of anti-metastatics here. We talk about Pro-5 a great deal. Pro-5, modified citrus pectin, and anti-metastatic means that it is against the spreading process of cancer, because cancer, of course, wants to root itself and it wants to spread. But in order to do that, cancer cells have to attach to something called galactin-3 proteins. They're sticky, sugary proteins. Once again, cancer thrives off of sugar. You all know that by now. But in order to metastasize or spread, cancer has to attach itself and root itself to the very sticky galactin-3 proteins. And what the research indicates that was recently completed at the Barbara Ann Caramano Center in Detroit is that modified citrus pectin antagonizes the galactin-3 proteins. So there are natural anti-metastatic agents that have been identified, have been studied extensively and published in study after study in a variety of different world journals, in many of these university studies, of course, as we said earlier. But modified citrus pectin, anti-metastatic properties. Also MGN3, IP6, melatonin, once again, has been identified as not only anti-angiogenic, but anti-metastatic. Very, very important natural medicines. There are also a number of apoptotic herbs and food substances that have been identified, meaning that they simply kill cancer cells. They kill cancer cells. There is one herb called graviola. There are a number of different Brazilian herbs that have been identified. One called Enamu, A-N-A-M-U. And there's another Brazilian herb called Simaruba, S-I-M-A-R-U-B-A. These are anti-apoptotic or cancer cell killers. The most common of these, realistically, here is lemongrass. Lemongrass. You occasionally may want to indulge in a glass of or a cup of lemongrass tea. Lemongrass tea is actually quite tasty, readily available at the health food store over the counter. But the Israelis have done extensive studies on lemongrass for its apoptotic qualities, its ability to literally kill cancer cells in isolated studies. There's a great deal of research in that area, and again, most of that has been done at university levels in Israel. All right, also, ellagic acid, something we've talked about extensively, is also apoptotic, and of course you've heard me do programs before about ellagic acid, because ellagic acid is commonly found in raspberry seeds. Raspberry seeds. And both Dr. Gary Stoner out at The Ohio State University, and Dr. Daniel Nixon from the University of South Carolina Medical School have done extensive research on ellagic acid in raspberry forms, specifically black raspberries and red raspberries as well, but mostly the black raspberries. Very high concentrations of ellagic acid, which again is a cancer killer. And in their studies, they identified that the ellagic acid from raspberries was able to kill cancer cells in 48 hours, 2 days. So a very powerful apoptotic substance called ellagic acid from raspberries. Also, there are a number of oncostatic, meaning they're cytotoxic, or they inhibit cell growth of cancer cells. And melatonin, once again, comes into play. There's been a great deal of research on melatonin as oncostatic, as well as a substance called calcium D-glucarate. Calcium D-glucarate, G-L-U-C-A-R-A-T, calcium D-glucarate. These are cytotoxic. They inhibit the cell growth of cancer cells, and once again, a myriad of studies, university studies, and oral publications that have come forth in these areas. And, you know, I also talk extensively about if you're in a natural fight to prevent or to fight cancer cells, you also have to think in terms of anti-inflammation, because cancer is an inflammatory disease. It's a series of diseases, actually. There is no one cancer. But one thing that all diseases called cancer have in common is they are inflammatory by nature. And therefore, things like decursin, D-E-C-U-R-S-I-N. Of course, I recommend decursin often, not only as an anti-inflammatory, but a lot of the cancer patients that I work with, I recommend decursin as part of their support program, because decursin is a very potent anti-inflammatory that comes from the Korean angelica root. And the decursin, of course, is available in the Jarrow product, J-A-R-R-O-W formulas. Jarrow Formulas makes a product called Pain Relief. And there's 100 milligrams of decursin in each capsule, so I usually recommend 2 of those a day. Once again, anti-inflammatory properties, we have turmeric root, and I over the years have really recommended a tremendous amount of the turmeric root. And I like the Solgar SFP 300s. Solgar, S-O-L-G-A-R, SFP, standard full potency SFP 300s. And I recommend 300 milligrams twice a day of those very potent anti-inflammatories, because once again, if you invoke anti-inflammation, you are making cancer cells miserable. And that's just what you want to do. All right, it's 10 of. It's about time to take a little break and sell a couple items here. Keep the light bills paid. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Catherine from Jarrow Formulas. We're happy to announce our new partnership with Dr. Mark Mincola. When we started out in this industry, our intentions were to bring good quality nutrition, cutting-edge science, and reasonably priced products to the market, and also encourage people to take an active role in their own health and wellness. Jarrow Formulas has been in business for over 20 years and is considered an industry leader. Jarrow is incredibly active in consumers' rights to access dietary supplements and creating good quality manufacturing standards for our industry. When we first met Dr. Mincola, we knew that we had a true partner and an ally in the mission of creating a happy, healthy, and wealthy New England through the sharing of knowledge and enthusiasm for health and healing. We greatly look forward to 2007 and the exciting things we can bring to you, and we're excited for the world of knowledge that there is that we can share with you all as we take this journey together with great partners, great energy, and looking forward to a great future for all of those that are encouraged to come along.
Hello, this is Paul Frazier. On January 12th and 13th, we'll be presenting Chinese energetic therapy training. In this class, you'll learn the foundation of Chinese energetics. That is, how to cultivate qi, your body's own internal energy, how to harmonize that qi with universal energy, and then to correct imbalances within yourself and to find and correct imbalances within other people. All this will help you achieve good physical health, emotional well-being, and a clear and focused mind. Special emphasis in this class will be placed on both traditional and scientific theories of internal energy and how these theories relate to disease and wellness. This class will be useful to seasoned practitioners and beginners alike. Call Candida to register at 781-834-2728. That number again is 781-834-2728. Hope to see you there.
Alrighty, welcome back in, and good to have you around. It was great to have Paul Fraser here this evening. I'm sure you enjoyed that chit-chat we had a little while back, and hope we see more of him. Get him back on the show here in the not-too-distant future. And we've been chatting a little bit this evening, just kind of cleaning up some old notes on some cancer topics that I wanted to share with you in the past. I figured tonight would be a good night to kind of clean some of those up. One of the things that seems to constantly confuse people regarding cancer is, the issue of hormones, the issue of estrogen receptivity, and the issue of so many people really are confused by the issue of soy and cancer. It's really disturbing. The idea of hormone balancing and aromatase inhibiting, that's one of my most important issues. And aromatase inhibition is really important when it comes to the fight against it in particular. But, the idea that soy is bad for you is wrong. We've got to get over that glitch in our lack of understanding about the different kinds of hormones that are out there, and the idea that soy actually provides us with diindoles. These indoles are they're about 1/1000th, first of all, as potent as the animal-based estrogens that we produce and that horses and cats and dogs produce. So plants produce estrogen, and that's really what soy does. It produces a soy-based estrogen, obviously. But it's 1/1000th is concentrated, and ironically, again, it antagonizes, it really neutralizes the presence of aromatase. And aromatase is really the bad chemistry that develops, that creates higher risks for breast cancer problems, etc., from estrogens that are animal-based, the 1.6 alpha-hydroxyesterones. So, the soy-based is safe, such as wild yam, angelica root, vitex. These are all part of the flavone family. Things like milk thistle, like we talked about a little while ago, silymarin, other herbs like horsetail, tarragon. Really simple. We use tarragon in spice all the time. Tarragon is actually very high in natural estrogen, but it's safe and it neutralizes the dangerous estrogens in our tissues. Also, herbs like buchu and spices like cayenne, yarrow, chili powder, garlic. These are all foods that are part of that flavone family as well. People don't realize that. Chinese ginger. Chamomile, licorice root, these are all things that are part of that flavone family as well. They have something called galangin in them. And the herbs and spices and natural substances from foods that we just talked about a moment ago there include things like quercetin, Quercetin, which citrus has a ton of, naringenin. Citrus has a lot of that as well. So these are things that you'll find in foods, that you'll find in spices, and again, they have very powerful hormonal balancing agents in them. They have chemistries that neutralize aromatase, the very dangerous or potentially dangerous estrogens that really can wreak havoc, especially when it comes to breast cancer. But also, prostate cancer should be included in that as well. So, men who might want to consider using something to support inflamed prostate might consider using something like Chrysin, Chrysin, which you can purchase at the health food store. Obviously, women should be thinking about using DIM, which is diindolyl methane, which is actually a natural medicine with estrogens that is actually sourced from mustard greens. Medicine from mustard greens. Again, natural estrogens from mustard greens. And once again, to use garlic, to use chili powder, to use cayenne pepper, to use tarragon, to use chamomile tea, Chinese ginger. These are all ways to support hormonal balancing and to neutralize the aromatase dangers that come from bad estrogens, which everyone has in their body. But some folks, as they get older, tend to hold on to more and more and more of that. They tend to be less efficient as we get older. Anyway, we are less efficient at recycling and sort of detoxifying the potential negative or dangerous estrogens. Men and women alike, I should say. Most folks think that only women produce estrogens. That's not true. Men and women both produce estrogens, and again, as we age, our ability to neutralize those, it becomes markedly diminished. So what happens as a result is we tend to dump these dangerous estrogens in our tissues and hold on to them for longer periods of time. And of course, we know that they're capable of wreaking havoc. So important to make sure you're using your foods properly. Natural foods, so very, very important. Also very, very important when it comes to cancer, when it comes to immunity, is to neutralize the antifungal component, because again, that will support cancer cells as well. Things like grapefruit seed extract, things like pau d'arco, caprylic acid. These are very, very powerful antifungal agents that you can purchase down at the health food store. Most importantly is to cut down on the vinegars, the yeasted breads, to cut down a lot of the fermented foods, peanut butter, things of this nature. So we always look to prevent before we do any kind of emphasis treating at all. And I think you can make a huge, huge difference by eliminating those highly fermented foods from your program and booting up your immune system with, of course, your antioxidants, vitamins A and C and E, selenium, zinc, propolis. I love to use propolis. I think it is a great immune enhancer, a great all-purpose immune enhancer, and you can't beat propolis when it comes to increasing T-cell production and booting up that immune system. And while we're getting up to that hour, I should recommend that you all stick around. Don't go anywhere, because Steve and Bobby and the whole gang will be here. Tomorrow's Dreams. You can hear some great, great music. A lot of it is live, of course, and a lot of it is local. So, you get to hear some local musicians, and boy, I'll tell you what, there's some great talent in this area. So stay tuned for the show. And, of course, you can pick up my segment on New England Cable News, my television segment, 9:45, 10:45, 11:45 every Wednesday morning when you're on those treadmills out there. So until next Sunday at 8 o'clock, this is Mark Mincola reminding you, please be wise, be aware, be well. Make it a healthy week. Good night.